Okay, let's now see the second part. Let's read the question before reading the passage. Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone. Read Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone on how the telephone was invented. Answer the question after you have finished reading. So let's take a look at the question. We have two questions, number 3 and number 4. We are on page 93 and continue in 94. So first question, what part of the telephone carried the electric current with the sound? So we have A, the wires, B, the transmitter, C, the receiver. We're going to find out when we read about it. And second question would be, how did Alexander Graham Bell use the design process? You know, the design process that the scientists look for the problem, think of a problem, then they draw a plan and build a solution, then test the solution. After that, share the designs with others. All right, so let's read about Alexander Graham Bell. All right, so please pay attention. Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone. Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone in 1876. People used to use a machine called telegraph. The telegraph helped people send messages over long distance, but the telegraph could only send one message at a time. Bell wanted to solve that problem, so he figured now the problem, we have a problem that the telegraph send a message, but one at a time. So that means it takes long time to send your message. So now we have a problem. As remember, he has to use the design process. So first thing, you need to find the problem. So this is the problem. Then what happened? Bell wanted to see if electricity could send voices over wires. So he made a telephone that had a transmitter and a receiver. An electric current carries the sound from the transmitter to the receiver. Be careful because we need part from this paragraph to answer our question. So one more time, Bill wanted to see if electricity could send voices over wires, so he made a telephone that had a transmitter and a receiver. An electric current carries the sound from the transmitter to the receiver. The two parts were connected by wires. Bell tested his telephone with his assistant, Watson. Bell spoke into the transmitter. Watson listened to Bell through a receiver in another room. The telephone worked. The cell phones we use today look very different from Bell's telephone. They do not use wires, but they still use a transmitter and receiver. Cell phones help us communicate with people all over the world. So remember, we had a problem, he planned, he tried it, he shared the design, he drew the plan, he tested the solution with his assistant, and then they shared the design. All right, so let's go to our page. I'm sorry, here you go. Number 3. So what part of the telephone carried the electric current with the sound? Is it the wires, the transmitter, or the receiver? Very good. The wires. All right, so let's go for that. Next part. How did Alexander Graham Bell use the design process? How did he use it? Remember, he has to find the problem. So he found the problem, and the problem is that he designed something that helped to send message over long distance. So he tested and he kept trying till he improved his design. So we need to put this down. So we're going to say he designed and built a way to send message, because before they used to have the telegraph, and the telegraph can send one message at a time. So that was the problem, that they need something fast. They need They're looking for something that they can send more than one message. So he found that we can send messages over long distance. So we solved the problem, or we found the problem now. So what we need to do, so he tested and kept trying till he get the result that he was looking for. And he improved his design. All right. All right. Number 4, or the fourth part, technology helps people. Explore the digital interactive technology helps people on different ways people use technology to communicate. So we're going to see this one. Okay, so let's see the second part. Explore the digital interactive technology helps people on different ways people use technology to communicate. So which is the best way to alert a visually impaired person that it's safe to cross the street? Circle the answer. Use sound signal, use flashing light, use pictures. Remember, person with visually impaired person means person cannot see. So let's see our slideshow. All right.
This is a TTY phone. It can also be called a text telephone. It helps people who are deaf or hard of hearing. They use the TTY phone to type messages to people. They can also receive text messages from people instead of listening.
So as we see, the TTY phone, it's a phone that you can text people, and those people cannot hear. So I cannot use the phone and call the people because they cannot listen. So instead of listening, they can read and send message and see the message. All right, so let's see. Another technology.
The Don't Walk signal tells people when it is not safe to cross the street. Many of these signals also use different sounds. The sounds help people who are visually impaired. The sounds tell them when it is safe to cross the street and when they should wait.
So this is another technology that help people to communicate. So people cannot hear, they know that they look visualized. So they use, if they cannot, I'm sorry, if they can see, they will send the sounds for the people to cross. So if this one like that, it's gonna have a sound, so people cannot see, they will hear the sound that it's safe to cross or wait. All right, so let's go for our question and see which is the best way to alert a visually impaired person that it's safe to cross the street. Circle the answer. People cannot see. You think we should make sound signal or flashlights or use pictures? Very good. We use sound. Awesome. All right. Let's go for the next page. Page 95. All right. Cross-cutting concepts, influence of engineering, technology, and science on society and the natural world. It's difficult for some people to speak or see. How does the technology help them communicate with others? So now we need to use what we learn And we just answered this simple question. Now we know about technology. We know how technology changed over years. We know how advanced we have technology now, and how people nowadays to communicate using very basic message, such as fire or smoke or drawing on painting on cave, or body language and sign language. And then after that, we saw the TV, the media, the radio, the computer, the phones, and the cell phones, and emails. So it's difficult for some people to speak or see. And we saw there's TTY, telephone, that people can type their messages because they cannot hear the phone if it rings, so they cannot listen. So they write their message and receive the response. Or the people that they cannot see, they have vision or visually impaired, so they use signal sounds for them to help them to communicate or find their ways. So over here, it's difficult for some people to speak or see. How does technology help them communicate with others? Remember, we just thought about technology, test them, and help them to communicate with different people. So people who cannot see can use technology to listen and speak. And the people who can speak can read, type, like when we saw the phone. So let's write this down. All right, so how does technology help them communicate with others? So we can say for people who can see can use technology, that they can listen and speak. Right? And people who can speak can read and can type, and also use pictures to communicate. Like the traffic signal, when we saw the traffic signal, that you would be using both. You would be seeing pictures showing people that they can cross or wait, and also we can hear the sound that says you can cross or wait, or sometimes we count down like how many seconds you have to cross. All right. All right, now this is our last page for today. Complete I can statement. You know, this usually is like the explanation of what we covered to show and, you know, show that you can, you understood the lesson and you can answer this. So I can design a solution. We were talking about communication with sounds or light over distance. All right, so we can write here. I can design a solution to show how people communicate with both sounds or light over distance. Put it down. All right. So for this lesson, we know that people that have visual impaired, they can use signal, And the people that they cannot listen are here. They can type or they can use picture to send message and communicate with others. We also learned that scientists use the design process, which is design a solution for a problem, and they first have to find a problem, and then they draw a plan and build a solution, then test the solution, and then after that share the design after they make sure that it's really successful and working. We also learn about communication over times, and we know that people before computer and phones were invented, they used different ways to communicate with each other: body language, sign language, smoke. We also painting and pattern and drawing over caves. And then we have our advanced technology, and it's easy now to have telephone or cell phone or computer or emails to communicate with others faster. And we also learn about transmitter and receiver. And there are two machines. Transmitter is a machine that sends out messages or signals, and the receiver is a machine or part of the machine that receive this message or get this message or signal. All right, that's it for today, first graders. Thank you. Bye-bye.